Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 7. 1. There are 3,102 inmates, either preying on new inmates or staying in the recreational area. A small minority are working out in the gym. It seems that reading is not a popular activity among them. At this moment, Li Shutong, Lin Xiaoxiao, and Yi Wan all looked a little different. Lin Xiaoxiao sat on a chair with a playful smile on his face, barefoot with his shoes scattered beside him. Yi Wan stood upright behind Li Shutong, occasionally glancing around. Lin Xiaoxiao looked particularly clever and bright-eyed, while Yi Wan was relatively sturdy and had a more resolute expression. One looked more like a book boy, and the other more like a bodyguard. After Li Shutong finished reading the news, Lin Xiaoxiao said, "Boss, the kid didn't help the other newcomers." Li Shutong nodded. Not helping is normal. He is decisive in his chess game, even cutting off his own arm to survive. It's even more so for others. Chess is just chess. Even if he asks me to give up a piece on the board, I dare to do so. Boss, are you going to continue playing with him tomorrow? Lin Xiaoxiao thought for a moment and asked. Of course, Li Shutong smiled and said, if I don't play with him, should I play with you two lousy chess players? In the reading area, Li Shutong sat next to a long wooden table, holding a brand new e-reader, reading various news stories. The huge cat lay on the table again, as if sleeping in different places was the meaning of its existence. The reading area was like a small library, but the bookshelves here did not contain paper books, but e-readers charging in slots. There were dozens of long tables in the bookshelves, enough to accommodate nearly 1,000 people, but they were empty at the moment. Yi Wan said with a heavy voice beside him, I'm a little stronger than Lin Xiaoxiao. But not by much. Li Shutong looked at Yi Wan and pointed to the news on the e-reader. Do you remember Guo Huchan, who was caught by the Qin group? The trial process has been completed, and he should be transferred to this 18th prison in a few days. You'll have to make contact with him then. Yi Wan nodded. I've dealt with him once before. Although he's difficult to deal with, he can be communicated with. Okay, Li Shutong nodded, then turned to Lin Xiaoxiao. What do you think of that boy's breakdown this morning? I've been observing for a long time and always feel that something is not right, Lin Xiaoxiao analyzed. It looks like the boy was babbling after his breakdown, but when he mentioned the words Luocheng and Yongli group, he was particularly certain, as if it was true. What's his identity? Li Shutong asked. I've checked. He's just an ordinary social idler who dropped out of high school outside. He follows the Black Tiger organization of the 18th city to do business in mechanical prosthetics. He is suspected of illegally snatching mechanical prosthetics, but there is no evidence. He was sent in for tax evasion. All his past life experiences can be found, but the Luocheng and Yongli group he mentioned are really hard to find, Lin Xiaoxiao said. No one saw Lin Xiaoxiao check anything, but he seemed to have found out everything about the boy who broke down in just an hour. This was the most amazing thing. Li Shutong said, keep an eye on him. That boy must have other problems. Also, what's the situation with the one who played chess with me? I just finished this game for you. I haven't had time to check yet. I'll let you know before lunch break, Lin Xiaoxiao said. Okay, Li Shutong nodded and continued to flip through the e-reader. Lin Xiaoxiao quietly glanced at Li Shutong and suddenly realized that the boss cared about that boy who broke down. Just as he was about to say something, Lin Xiaoxiao turned his head to look outside the reading area. At this moment, Qin Chen was slowly walking over, carefully and meticulously surveying the surroundings. Qin Chen first glanced at Li Shutong's side, then tried to gently pull out a PAD-like e-reader from the bookshelf and pressed the power button. Qin Chen stared at the screen. If there was a way to quickly understand this world, it would be to read its books. He didn't expect that this world had even eliminated paper books, leaving only electronic products. However, after this e-reader was turned on, it was not the operating interface, but the login interface. Lin Xiaoxiao walked over and chuckled, "It's your first time in prison, right? If you want to use this e-reader, you need to register an account with your prisoner number. After you log in, it will show your recent reading history, your bookmarks, and your set reading habits and font size." Qin Chen thought that this thing was quite user-friendly. By the way, it also has a built-in artificial intelligence voice. You can call its name and it will help you find what you're looking for. Like this, Lin Xiaoxiao also took out an e-reader and said, "1. I'm here," a pleasant female voice sounded from the e-reader. Qin Chen remembered this voice. It was the same as the one that announced meal times in the prison fortress. The formulaic tone did not make people feel stiff. Lin Xiaoxiao said to the e-reader, "Help me find the book, Brown." "Okay, I have found Brown for you," the artificial intelligence one responded. Look, Lin Xiaoxiao handed his e-reader to Qin Chen, and the book called Brown had opened its page. Qin Chen took a look at his prisoner uniform, number 010101. After registering, Qin Chen looked at Lin Xiaoxiao and asked, "Where can I read the news, the kind that the person over there is holding?" Lin Xiaoxiao turned to look at her boss's e-reader, then smiled and said, "Don't even think about it. Your e-reader account doesn't have internet access, and neither do I." Qin Chen understood and realized that Li Sudong's position in this prison was indeed extraordinary, just like how he was able to keep a cat in the prison. He didn't say anything more and simply thanked Lin Xiaoxiao before lowering his head to read the content on his own e-reader. Lin Xiaoxiao returned to Li Sudong's side, casually glancing at Qin Chen. But he suddenly noticed that Qin Chen was flipping through the pages of his e-reader extremely quickly. Normally, an e-reader page contained about 800 words, and it would take at least a minute for a person to read it. However, Qin Chen was flipping through the pages every 2 seconds. Lin Xiaoxiao whispered to Li Sudong, "Boss, he's not really reading the e-reader. He probably just wanted to get close to you and find a chance to interact with you." "Mind your own business," Li Sudong replied without even looking up. "Don't underestimate a person's will to survive. If you were in his shoes, you would probably be even more eager. Xiao, learn to put yourself in other people's shoes." I know, Lin Xiaoxiao said with a grin. Qin Chen found a seat and continuously took notes on the contents of his e-reader, flipping through it rapidly and barely changing his posture for over 3 hours. Reading might be a leisure activity for others, but for him, it was one of the ways to understand the world and survive. The content on the e-reader was obviously carefully selected, with almost no important information, 95% of it being philosophy and motivational speeches. But it didn't matter, any information was important to him now. Qin Chen was always someone who cherished opportunities. As it approached lunchtime, Li Sudong finally put down his e-reader and logged out of his account. Yiwan picked up the e-reader and put it back into the slot on the bookshelf. Yiwan and Lin Xiaoxiao were like Li Sudong's closest attendants. When Li Sudong stood up, he looked at Qin Chen and felt that something was off. The young man was so focused on reading that he didn't even seem to notice him standing up. It didn't seem like an act. Li Sudong suddenly asked, "What's the content on the 3rd line of the previous page?" His voice was gentle and warm, like being in an ancient tea room listening to the teachings of an elder. "When order becomes chaos, we have to use chaos to maintain order and save the law," Qin Chen replied, looking up. Yiwan took the e-reader from Qin Chen and flipped to the previous page. "Boss, he's right." At that moment, Qin Chen suddenly saw the big cat on the table open its eyes. He felt like the cat could understand everyone's conversations and was surprised by his memory. Li Sudong was briefly stunned when he heard Yiwan confirm Qin Chen's answer, then called the cat over and left with a smile. This is getting more interesting. Let's go, it's time for lunch. For some reason, Qingchen felt like Li Sutong had a unique aura when he walked, as if he was walking on clouds in his light white training clothes that swayed with each step.